Good morning, children. Hope you all are good. And I hope you are habituated with the video lectures taken. As this is the period of lockdown, we have chosen the path of video lectures. And I expect you all gave a good response with this regard. From past few lectures, we have been doing chapter 6. And we have also completed a long sum, that is illustration 13. And in today's lecture, we are going to start with the next illustration, that is illustration 14. Of course, from chapter 6, that is retirement or death of a partner. The previous video lectures that you have been studying, you should make sure that you go through all the lectures and each and every point thoroughly. It is really important that you complete your homework every day. Yes, for a proper understanding. Yeah, as you know that we cannot finish a long sum within one particular lecture. You know this very well. This is the subject where long sums are included. It is accounts. Yeah, so it is not possible that we'll finish a complete long sum within a lecture of 30 minutes or so. So we are doing it in parts. In the last lecture, we have completed illustration 13, which was the very first long sum from chapter 6. And as I said, long sums are similar to the previous chapter that we have done, only with minor changes. Yeah? So today we are going to start with the next illustration, that is illustration 14. You should keep your textbook and a writing book, pen, pencil, other essentials with you. By now you should be aware of this. It is not to be instructed every time. Yes, I hope all of you are ready now with your textbook and other essentials. So on page number 232 of your textbook, part 1, it is illustration 14 that we are going to start today. You should watch this video lecture till end for a proper and complete understanding. This is what I instruct you every day. Alright, this is illustration 14, page number 232. Please keep your textbook with you. I repeat this again and again. Alright, let us read the question. Please pay attention. Ajay, Alpa and Amay are the partners of the firm, sharing profit and loss in the ratio of 50%, 30% and 20% respectively. This is their old ratio. They have presented it in a twisted form, 50%, 30% and 20%, which simply means the old ratio is 5:3:2. You should be able to understand this much. The balance sheet of the firm as on 31st/3/17 was as under. You should pay attention to where I am reading. This is the reason I am reading it very slowly. Alright, now this is the balance sheet given to you. This is an old balance sheet. Old balance sheet is always given to you in the question. And we also have old ratio of the partners. Who are the partners? It is Ajay, Alpa and Amay. Below, if you see, on the same page, you have this adjustments. there are overall 8 adjustments that they have that they have presented. Yeah. So what we are supposed to do, first of all, you should be aware of the steps for solving a long sums by now, and if not, please revise the same. Which is the very first step? You should prepare the format of journal and you should draw necessary accounts. But before that, you should read your question with extreme care. Below the adjustments, if you see, they have instructed that what you are supposed to prepare. This is an important point. See, after adjustment number 8, it is written, prepare revaluation account, capital accounts of partners, and the balance sheet after the retirement of Ajay. This simply means that you are not supposed to write down journal entries. You are only supposed to prepare ledger accounts. Which are the ledger accounts that we prepare generally? It is revaluation, cash and bank, partners capital, balance sheet. You are not supposed to prepare cash and bank account because you are not instructed to do so in the question. In your given question, after adjustment number 8, they have clearly instructed what you are supposed to prepare. It is 2 accounts and a statement which is called balance sheet. Yes? For now, you can understand this sum, and in homework, you will prepare all the accounts and you will write down the necessary effects that we learn for today. Not the entire sum, as you know very well that it is next to impossible to finish the entire sum during one lecture only. So for now, what you are supposed to do is keep a pencil in your hand and your textbook. I'll let you know about each and every effect on which side it is going to appear in which account. You should immediately put a tick mark once it is done, and then you'll be doing the same in your homework. Alright? Okay then. So as they've asked us to prepare 3 accounts, it is revaluation account. Here you can see. Then you have partners capital accounts and a balance sheet. Okay, this is new balance sheet. The last word does not appear by mistake, but you should understand this. Okay, and you also have few working notes here, which is about calculation of gaining ratio and calculation of goodwill. Alright, then now we'll start with the sum. So what are the steps? You have drawn necessary accounts. You will record the opening balance first of all. This is your old balance sheet. You'll write down the opening balance of partners capital. I repeat. You'll write down the opening balances of partners capital in partners capital accounts. If you will see here, yes, and this is also mentioned on page number 233 of your textbook. Partners capital accounts, credit side, if you will see, the very first thing, it is by balance brought down, which is 60,000, 50,000 and 80,000 respectively. Alright. Then the opening balance about cash and bank. Just because you are not supposed to prepare cash and bank account, you are not going to write this balance anywhere in any account for now. Yes, how to deal with it, that I will teach you at the end. I mean whenever necessary during the sum. We'll come to that step. So the very next step is that you are supposed to obtain gaining ratio. Yeah? And what is required for obtaining gaining ratio? You should have old ratio of partners and the new ratio of partners. And we are provided with the same in the given illustration. So let us check our working notes. It is given on page number 233 of your textbook. Please pay attention. There are 3 partners you can see. The first working note, gaining ratio, old ratio 5:3:2. This is given in the question. New ratio is 1:4, which is given to you in adjustment number 8. This is the reason that before starting the sum, you should observe the entire question carefully. Alright, then you have old ratio as well as new ratio. Then simply putting it in a formula of gain, that is new share minus old share, you will easily get to know about which partner has gained how much. Let us check the working note. We are calculating for the first partner 1/5 minus 3/10. 1/5 how? It is 1 plus 4, new ratio. So 1/5 minus 3/10. Alpha is the second partner in order. Ajay is the person who retires. So we have calculated gain of alpha. Now when you calculate this, if the answer appears negative, then it is not gain but it is sacrifice. Yes, we have learned this in chapter 4 as well as in chapter 5. Mostly we have understood this in chapter 4. Chapter 5 used to deal with sacrificing ratio. Yeah, so I have taught you whenever you are calculating gain and if the answer appears negative, it is not gain but the sacrifice. Alright? So Alpa is not gaining, instead she is sacrificing. Yeah? Then about Amay. Amay is gaining 6/10. So this is our working note. We do not have gaining ratio here because there are 3 partners. One is going to get retired, so it is natural that other 2 will gain. But while calculating gain of the remaining 2 partners, one of the partners is sacrificing. Yes? So this will change a little bit of your journal entry while we come to writing journal entry of goodwill. I'll make you understand the same while dealing with the concept of goodwill in your adjustments. For now, you should only understand that Alpa is sacrificing and Amay is gaining. Alright? Fine. Then, now we'll start with our adjustments as we have this step of adjustments now. I'm reading the very first adjustment. All of you, page number 232 in your textbook. We are reading the adjustments starting from the first one. The claim of workman compensation is accepted at rupees 20,000. Understand? Check your old balance sheet. Old balance sheet is given to you just before the adjustments in your textbook, or else you can even check it here. See, in balance sheet, liabilities side, it is workman compensation reserve, which is of 30,000 rupees. And how much we are supposed to pay? 20,000. So how much is remaining? 10,000. Understand, I repeat, in your old balance sheet, workman compensation reserve is of 30,000 And in adjustment, they say out of 30,000, 20,000 is to be paid. So anything that is to be paid is a liability. It becomes a liability. And what about the remaining 10,000? Remaining 10,000 will be distributed among partners in their old profit loss sharing ratio. Just because this is a reserve. In case if there was no adjustment related to this, then we would have distributed entire amount of 30,000 among old partners. Understand the point. If you are having an adjustment, then firstly you have to apply that adjustment. Only then the remaining amount will be distributed among partners. Alright, now we'll check the effects of this adjustment. Please pay attention. The first effect of Workmen's Compensation Fund will be given in balance sheet, new balance sheet on page number 233, liabilities side. Please check, it is written Workmen Compensation Claim 20,000. 20,000 is the amount in adjustment. That simply means out of 30,000, 20,000 you are supposed to pay, and this becomes your liability. So what about the remaining 10,000? It is to be credited in partners' capital accounts. In partners' capital accounts, credit side, you've written by balance brought down. Just below that, by Workman Compensation Reserve, 5,000, 3,000 and 2,000 respectively. Alright. Now many of you might be having a question that, ma'am, why we are not writing the effect of 20,000 in revaluation account debit side? So the answer to this is that we are already having a fund of 30,000. Yeah. Out of which 20,000 is to be paid. We are not bringing it extra, or we are not conducting any expense for this. We are already having a reserve for same purpose. Yeah. That is the reason we have not debited the amount 20,000 in revaluation account. We have just split 30,000. Okay. Fine then. Coming towards the second adjustment, the market value of investment is rupees 45,000. This is the market value. Let us check the old value. Old balance sheet, asset side, you can see investments 60,000. What is the new value? The market value 45,000. What do you conclude from this? Definitely the value of an asset has decreased. How much? 60,000 minus 45,000. The value of investment has decreased by 15,000. So decrease in the value of an asset is to be recorded in revaluation account and on debit side. Yeah. But in your old balance sheet again, if you will check on liabilities side, it is written Investment Fluctuation Fund 20,000. Now this is the fund kept to write off the loss occurred, or I can say to write off the decreased amount of investment. What is the loss? It is 15,000. How much amount do we have for writing off the loss? 20,000. So the loss is written off from 20,000. So we are not going to write 15,000 on debit side of revaluation account. Yeah. Now talking about the remaining 5,000 of investment fluctuation fund. How to deal with that? We'll check here. partners' capital accounts, credit side, by investment fluctuation fund account. You can see they have written off 5,000 in an old ratio of partners. Alright, and the new value of investment in the balance sheet, 45,000. Alright, let us continue then. Third adjustment, bad dates on daters, rupees 2,000 is to be written off and the provision for doubtful dates is to be capped at 5%. Let us check what is the value of daters. It is 70,000 and there is a bad date of rupees 2,000. Yeah. So bad date reserve is kept for the purpose of writing off bad date occurred, if any. What is the amount of bad date? It is 2,000. How much amount of bad date reserve do we have? See, 6,000. Yeah. Generally, if there is bad dates, it is considered as loss. And with this logic, you'll say that ma'am, we are going to write down this effect on debit side of revaluation account. Yes, that is completely right. But here, in this case, we already have bad date reserve, which is provision for doubtful dates, and it is created with the purpose of writing off. It is created for the purpose of writing off an amount of bad dates, that is the loss. So 2,000 is written off from bad date reserve of 6,000. This is the reason we are not going to write down 2,000 on debit side of revaluation account. Because for writing off those 2,000 rupees, we are having a reserve of 6,000. So instead of revaluation account, we are going to deduct 2,000 from bad date reserve of 6,000. So no accounting effect on debit side of revaluation account. Yeah? Now they say that we are supposed to keep the provision for doubtful dates at 5%. Now understand this well. 70,000 is the amount of debtors from which you will deduct 2,000 as bad dates. Now you are supposed to keep bad date reserve on a remaining amount at 5%. Yes? So if you will calculate 5% for the net amount, I am talking about the amount of debtors. Please check on page number 233. There is an effect. In the new balance sheet, it is 70,000 minus 2,000 of bad dates. What is the net amount? It is 68,000. 5% for this. Yeah? I request you all use your calci. Whatever the net amount is, you are going to deduct the amount of bad dates reserve already available with you, and there is a difference of 600 rupees. I repeat the entire concept. There was a bad date reserve of 6,000. From that you have written off 2,000 as bad dates. So how much bad date reserve is available with you now? 4,000. But how much you are supposed to keep? 3,400, which is 5% of the net amount of debtors. You are available with 4,000, but you are supposed to keep only 3,400. That means you are having excess amount of 600, which is not required. And whenever the amount of bad debt reserve reduces, it is to be credited in revaluation account. You can see here, in revaluation account credit side, by bad debt reserve account, 600, the excess amount. They say you are supposed to keep only 5% of bad debt reserve now, and you are having 600 more. So you have credited it in revaluation account. And let us check the second effect for this entire adjustment in your balance sheet. This is similar to the adjustment that we used to understand in 11th standard as well as in 12th standard of final accounts. I mean final accounts of 12th standard and 11th standard. We have come across this adjustment. Annual accounts of standard 12th is left to be recorded, to teach you still. But the adjustment remains same in standard 11th as well as 12th. So if you remember the annual accounts of 11th standard, the effect is same here. Yeah. So debtors 70,000 minus bad dates and minus bad date reserve. So what is the net amount of debtors? It is 64,600. So we are done with the three adjustments, and we have 5 adjustments still, or I can say only 4 adjustments, because 8th adjustment we have already solved. They have only mentioned about new profit and loss sharing ratio of continuing partners, so that cannot be considered an adjustment still to be solved. So overall we are left with the 4 adjustments that we'll understand in the next lecture. For today we have solved 3 adjustments, and I hope you all were able to understand. And in case if you are facing a bit of difficulty in understanding any concepts, right, what you can do is, this is a video lecture. Yes, this is also available on YouTube. It is uploaded. What you can do is, you can watch it several times. And another thing that you are supposed to do is, you should always have a habit of writing it along. Otherwise, you should put a tick mark over the things, over the effects that are being taught during the sum. Yes, you can also pause this video wherever you don't understand. You can watch it several times. Yes, but the main thing is, the work should be done every day regularly. It is really important that you study the video lectures carefully. You should understand, you should try to understand whatever has been explained, whatever is being explained every day. Yes? So for today what you are going to do is, you will write down the sum, you will draw necessary accounts, you will write down opening balances, then you will prepare working notes, you will find out gaining ratio, and you will solve all the adjustments. We have done 3 adjustments for today. Those adjustments you have to write down in your fair book. Though the entire explanation is also given in your textbook, you can take help from that even, and you will listen to this video lecture, you will watch this video lecture while you solve the sum. But make sure you do your homework every day, on regular basis. I have been always saying that if you were absent in the previous lecture, it is next to impossible for you to understand what is going in current lecture. This is always told during the lectures taken in class. Same applies here. When you watch lecture 5, the video lecture, make sure you are aware of the things that have been taught in the previous 4 lectures of chapter 6. Yes? So here we end our session. Make sure you'll do your homework and we'll all meet in the next session soon. Till then, stay home and stay